Good morning, Kushali. Welcome to
Good morning.
mindmattersonline.com.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I am very fine, thank you. Um, Kushali, today we are here to talk about a topic in how to optimize the therapy outcomes. Like, for example, if I am going into psychotherapy or counseling or psychological therapies or talking therapies, whatever we call them, how
Right.
can I make sure that what I get out of the therapy is optimized? So we are interviewing a series of experts on each of the things that they are able to tell us, our viewers, about how to get the best out of their therapies. So today we are going to talk about um, criticism and feedback, right? That's the
Oh,
topic that you have written on. Tell me a little bit about yourself first before we go into this, please.
right. I've been in the field of psychology and training people for the past 7.5 years now.
Okay.
And all of my experience has been working with people with regards to how we think and what happens when we think a certain way and how it manifests into our behavior.
Okay.
So most of it consists of what is the stimulus that we get from the other person, and then how our thinking processes kind of work on it, operate with it, and how we form our reactions and why we form them the way that we do.
Okay. So that has
So
been the cognitive processes and how we behave from the cognitive processes. So the cognition and behavior, the thinking and the acting has been your forte for the past 7.5 years.
totally, totally,
Okay,
completely.
right. And now the primer for this interview was your article on LinkedIn, where you described the feedback and criticism, right? Now,
Right.
tell me how you why you focused on this topic, please. What was the primer for your interest in this topic?
So what happened is that I've been doing a lot of programs with people, and there is a specific program where we conduct that when somebody is saying something, your initial defense just tells you that what you're doing is right. And a lot of my participants would come up with things like, why can't we criticize other people? Because I really follow a lot of Dale Carnegie's principles, and
Okay,
one of those is do not condemn, complain, or criticize.
okay,
And the minute I say that, I get a lot of responses from the participants that why shouldn't we? And if we don't criticize, how do we get other people moving? And how do they get better?
okay.
So this was a very
Mm.
interesting thing that kept happening repeatedly. That why would we do this?
Okay. So the primer was your own personal experience with training other
Right.
therapists, isn't it? Okay.
Right.
Now two things came to my mind from this, please. One was, can you explain what Dale Carnegie is for us, please? Even actually, I don't know completely, I must confess. So, what is so special about Dale Carnegie, please? I keep hearing about it.
Dale Carnegie he was an American. He's no
Yes.
more now. He passed away a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a regular person like all of us.
Okay,
But
good. Nice to know.
uh, there was some fantastic gems, like you like to call it, that came through his own observations,
Okay,
and eventually he went on to write a lot of books.
okay.
So there is a very popular book that's called How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think, the most sold book all over
Okay,
the world.
right.
And in that, there is about 30 principles that he mentions,
Uh-huh.
which are almost like, the smaller diamonds that, how well you can
Okay.
connect with people.
Hmm. Okay.
And
So it's not
yeah,
a systematized training system or something like a CBT or REBT, but it is a a famous personality giving his wisdom in terms of what are the things that you can do to be positive. Winning friends, you can only do positively, isn't it? Okay, right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
So what you mentioned is there are a lot of things which are very powerful in terms of your personal skills to be able to connect with people better
okay.
and gain so much more that you become much better as a person,
Hmm.
more fulfilled and extremely constructive in nature.
Okay, so these principles from which you speak about you or you are going to speak about today is based on positivity and making it more constructive and better for everyone. Okay, right.
Absolutely.
Hmm. I said I had two things, but I just forgot the second thing what it was. I'll come back to it when I when it crosses my mind again. Okay, now.
Sure, sure.
Today we are going to talk about things from people who are going into the therapy and their perspective. I am going into a therapy with a therapist and I
Right.
want to get better. So I am trying to see how I can improve my outcomes, and that is the reason I'm watching mindmattersonline.com's videos with various experts. So today we are talking about criticism and feedback. Can you tell us actually the difference between these two things, please? Because I thought both of them were almost the same or the same.
Right. So if you look up in the dictionary, the difference of these meanings, criticism primarily talks about identifying the wrong.
Okay,
And feedback, if you see the definition again, feedback talks about just identifying the actions.
okay, right,
So, so both has identifying and both has talking about something that somebody did, but criticism primarily has something that someone's done wrong.
okay. Hmm.
And so there is just a very fine difference when if I'm focusing on the wrong, then the whole aspect of how I am saying that comes across as something that I'm just doing as fault finding.
Okay. So both are mirrors only, which are reflecting what I am doing, taking it in the
Right,
context of therapy. So
right.
the therapist is holding a mirror for me. Both are mirrors, but one mirror is coated with black or whatever. So
Yeah.
everything that comes out, I come out as a completely black person.
Right.
Nothing
It has
good
those
in
eagle
me.
horns on it,
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah. Okay, right. But the other one is there is nothing on there. It is reflecting both the goods and the bads straight away from
Right,
the mirror. Okay,
right.
so that is the difference between criticism and feedback. Do the therapists do that? Do they do that?
I think they do both.
Hmm. Okay. So we are doing both, is what you feel. And if I
Yeah.
think back to my actual practice as well, yes, I do think we do both, isn't it? How do we? Let's first talk about ourselves because when we are doing it better, then the people who are going to get help from us can do it better, isn't it? How do
Sure.
we get into the habit of actually reflecting both goods and bads, the whole person, rather than just concentrating on the wrongs, please? How do we get into that habit?
So I think that it starts with the presumption of the fact that the other person has come to me to get better,
Hmm.
right? So it's my responsibility that I tell him how to get better, or
Hmm.
let me direct him or guide him on how to get better.
Okay. Right.
It starts off with a very, very noble cause, I think, and so at some point of time when you are connected with that client for a little longer time, you understand the habits, you understand the thought patterns or the behavior patterns, and at some point from becoming neutral, I think it's quite easy to jump that line and let that other person know that no, you're doing wrong.
Ah,
You cannot be doing this. How can you do something like this when we've already been talking about how you can do better?
okay.
So
Hmm.
once the pointing out happens, it's very simple for the other person to just like, sit back and think, no, I'm being targeted or I'm being attacked.
Ah, okay. So here comes the biggest point, isn't it? What you are saying is once it starts out being non-neutral or once it starts out being completely negative, the person who is going undergoing the therapy starts getting defensive or starts getting um, feeling or starts feeling insulted maybe in a, or
Maybe.
starts getting negative vibes, and that actually stops people from getting the best out of interactions, isn't it?
Which is
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Hmm. So, okay, coming back to the person, I am the person sitting in the therapy, getting the therapy. How do I know if my therapist is giving me criticism or feedback?
How do you know? Okay, so
Yeah,
as a client,
as
yeah.
a person, how do I recognize that?
So if the therapist uh, does not appreciate the good that you're doing,
Hmm.
jumps on to the fact that what are all the wrongs that you are doing, it
Hmm.
becomes very easy to identify that. So there are a few, let's say, there are about 2 to 3, 4 identifiers that you can get very simply out of the fact that how a person is talking to you.
Okay.
So if I as a therapist do not really focus and tell you, so this is like something really fantastic that you've been doing in the past weeks that we have been doing therapy, and this has been your progress. After
Hmm.
that, I can probably tell you that, so there are other things, let's get to there and try to make that better too,
Okay.
and let's work on those things.
Hmm.
So this is a way that I've kind of made you aware that you've been progressing, and
Hmm.
there are ways that now we can still further accentuate your progress.
Okay.
Now you will get better. So this is going to be the path of feedback that I'm giving you. So
Okay.
you are not going to feel terrible about it. You're going to feel motivated first that, okay, I've been doing good. And now let's look at those things what we can do better.
Okay.
The next thing is that if I tell you that, but in my life I've had these experiences, and this is how I went about doing it, and I have other clients who are also going through a similar situation, and this is what they did. But you're probably not being able to do something like that. If ever something like this comes up, then that session is going to be completely wasted, because the minute I, as a therapist, compare you with somebody else,
Ah.
it's
Okay.
done. You're probably going to think you have no idea what my life is about,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
others others have really no idea the kind of horrible times that I'm going through or the pain that I'm going through.
Okay.
So how much you receive from my steps of telling you that this is what you should do because other people also happen to do something like that and they found it better. It's not going to work for you
Okay.
as much.
This I like because what you are saying is let it be person centric. That's basically what you are saying, isn't it?
Yes.
You are saying that let there be no one blanket covering everybody or one blanket suits all kind of a thing. You are saying let everything that you do with a person be person centric as a therapist. So if somebody is talking to me about my own perceptions, my own feelings, my own behaviors, and not comparing them to others, but giving me feedback about my own thing, ah,
Absolutely.
then
So if I tell you that, if I tell you, Dr. Raghu, last time, that we were talking about this 4 months back, there was the way that you handled the situation was so fantastic. And let's try to see, what you did there that we can do repetitively so that
Okay.
you can manage these situations as effectively as you did them.
Okay.
So that's going to make you feel really interested that, okay, so this is my own skill and okay, I am getting better. Versus I tell you that, in such kind of situations, I will tell you what you should be doing because I've had similar situations in my life. And trust me, I've had a few other patients who also gone through a similar situation. And this is what you should do. There are these two things, and the first one will definitely be a lot more effective than the second one.
And so you are comparing, you are doing comparison, but you are comparing it with my own past where I have done a lot of good. So
Absolutely.
it is about my own this thing, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So it's going to make you feel good and interested also that okay, let me work on it because it's my own thing.
Yeah. And you said another thing about the potential. If, for example, sometimes for us therapists as well, to be fair to our therapists, we do find people who have got into habit of doing lots of negative things, and sometimes we may find not a lot of that we can catch on to compare it, isn't it?
Right, right.
What you said in your article is really good, that if you are not able to give examples of in the past, yeah, obviously we have to think, have we probed enough about the patient's strengths? The
Right,
second thing is, you have also said, what is the potential of this person? Just don't jump into comparing with others just because he hasn't had anything that you can go on to encourage that person to change. But you have said, compare it to the potential that he could have. Can you explain that a little bit, please?
Sure. So if there isn't enough too much to go back into, or maybe like you very rightly said, you haven't probed enough. But even for a simple fact that that person is here with you and he's not been dragged to you
Absolutely.
can be very powerful if you want to use it like that.
Okay.
So if I don't have actions of the past, but if I am an effective therapist, I definitely know certain thought patterns that this is what this person thinks. And if there are definitely going to be some strengths. So as a therapist, it's very, very important that in the first few sessions, I get to know the strengths of the patient. That helps me anchor your behavior. It helps me direct you using your own strengths so that it makes you feel extremely wanting to do it yourself.
Okay. Right. So this is about being positive about both the past as well as the future so that the present can change, isn't it?
Absolutely. See, as a therapist, yes, I need to be aware of both the positive and the negative. The fact that he's here is the fact that he wants to get rid of the negative.
Yes. Right.
So if you have to get rid of the negative, you need to increase the strengths. You need to make sure that those strengths can overpower the negatives. So then as a therapist, it's important, one, for me to know what are the weaknesses or what are the problem areas and kind of deal with it as a fact. But also it's very important that the focus remains on the strengths.
Okay.
Because you can't give your own strength as a therapist to the client. You have to use his own strength where the client can use it across his own activities.
Absolutely right. I can only change up to my strengths or based on my strengths, isn't it? Right.
Absolutely.
So, is there any other thing, any other difference we as therapists need to know in terms of criticism and feedback?
Also, I think, yes, the usage of the words. There's a lot of power in the kind of words that you use. So if I tell you that, Dr. Raghu, you should do this.
Okay.
You're going to think that, yeah, okay, so Kushali is saying I should do this, maybe I should.
Okay.
But instead, if I say that Dr. Raghu, I think that you have a very fantastic eye for detail, and maybe the next time you fall in this situation, you could just observe the other person and
Mm-hmm.
just see what's happening and take note of it.
Okay. Right.
So the only difference was the word use and should and could.
Okay. So making it a suggestion or an option rather than as an instruction. That's the basic thing, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the more I instruct you, it's going to look like a third party thing, like you're reading a newspaper and the newspaper is telling you something to do.
Okay.
But if I'm a therapist
Mm.
and if I really want you to do, I need to encourage you to be wanting to do that.
Okay. Right. Mm.
So the usage of words, I mean, I don't really think vocabulary so much, but just the correct words that there are some words that are more empowering in nature,
Okay.
and also the ones that make you a team.
Okay.
So, so instead of me telling you that you should try doing this,
Mm-hmm.
if I tell you, let's see if you can manage to do that. So the let's see part makes you and me a team, and it doesn't make you feel that okay, so the therapist is going to want me to do something. Instead, you're going to think, okay, so I have a suggestion that I can do this, and then get back to her and tell her what happened then.
Okay. Right. It encourages actions on my part because it's coming from me. I have the power or the control to choose what I'm doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I tell you in such a way that it makes you feel that it's you who's the actual decider and not me.
Yeah. And actually, that's how it should be, isn't it? Uh,
It should.
we may have a range of options. And if we are good therapist, we will have a range of options, isn't it? That we
Right.
can put together for the patient to choose from and choose the best one for him or her.
Absolutely.
Quite
For
right.
example, let me tell you what you can do, and instead of that, I could say, let me share some ideas
Mm-hmm.
that can bring out some kind of solutions for you, and we can choose and pick what you like the best.
Okay. Right. But the whole crux of the point is that we are encouraging change, isn't it?
Absolutely. So we're encouraging that action instead of telling them to act. We're encouraging them to act,
Yeah.
just like
Okay. Right. Now, is there anything else that I, as a person who is sitting in the therapy, okay, I have observed that my therapist is giving me good vibes. I can feel it. Most of the time, we
right,
do go on the vibes as well, isn't it? I can feel
right.
I'm
We do.
comfortable with the therapist. They're giving me some suggestions, and is there something else that I need to be doing? You have told me what the therapist should be doing to make me feel better. Is there anything that I should be doing?
Yes. So I think one important thing is that I was in the state that I was until I came here.
Mm,
You've decided to come here, maybe with the help of somebody,
mm,
maybe by your own need that okay, I need to get up and go and get some help, or maybe by your family members or your friends that okay, so let's try to kind of get better at what we are,
okay.
get out of a certain situation, get out of a certain mindset. So now that I'm here, if if I'm still going to be in the stage that I was before coming here, it's not going to help.
Mm,
So if I'm here, if you are here, let's say if you're the client and I'm the therapist, and if you're here, if you just shed everything for a few moments and completely bring down all your justifications and reasons for doing something, it will help a lot if you just receive everything for a minute.
mm,
So you could sit here and think that what I did was absolutely right. And if you're going to think that, then whatever I say isn't really going to do much to you.
mm. So what you are
And then,
saying is,
yeah,
I
yeah.
need to be ready for change.
more than ready, because that change is a very difficult thing.
Mm.
I've been doing something a certain way all this time, and for
Mm.
me, it's the right thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So the
Now
justifications of what I have been doing.
yes. So
Okay.
you as a client need to be very aware that it doesn't matter. It
Mm.
doesn't matter that what I did was right or not, because I as a therapist don't judge that. I'm not
Mm.
going to judge that.
Mm.
I'm
Mm.
not going to judge why you did something, whether it was the right thing to do or not, whether you were in such a difficult situation, why you did something or not. But I, as a therapist, I'm going to think that you've been doing something and you want to change. That's it. So you as a client, it would really, really
Excuse me.
help if you are going to think that, okay, I've come to somebody who has really nothing to do with my reasons for doing something,
Okay.
who is never going to have an objection to the kind of person that I am.
Okay.
Because
Mm.
most of the times therapy gets thwarted, completely thwarted, when our mental defenses are so high up that every
Ah.
time a therapist is saying something, we're going to think, no, but this is not how I think, but I didn't do it because of this. But
Okay.
that's not how I think all the time.
Okay.
So yeah,
Hmm. So what you are saying is that when I go into therapy and when I'm getting feedback, the therapist has been non-judgmental and has been able to identify both strengths and the need for change and giving that, and it's just acting like a mirror, isn't it? And what I should be doing is, I have a high wall or a compound wall around me, isolating me from all these feedbacks, which would lead me to a good path, because I'm here because I'm having difficulties. I don't come for fun for therapy, isn't it? I'm here
right.
because I have had difficulties in the past. At the moment, that is causing me a problem, and I don't want that in the future. So, how can that happen? Based on that, you have said that I need to be ready for change, and
Yeah.
most importantly, to be ready for the change, I need to let my compound walls crumble a little bit. Quite frightening, isn't it? To think that I might have been
It's
doing wrong.
terrifying. It's terrifying. Even we as people, even if we don't have difficulties, when we discuss something with somebody, just a friend,
Hmm.
if we're discussing some very generic difficulty which is not really affecting our lives, if somebody just out of nowhere gives us a suggestion or says that, but why don't you do this?
Hmm.
And we're suddenly like, what I'm doing is absolutely right. Why are you asking me to change the way that I'm doing?
Hmm.
So when a person is coming with the awareness that I've had some real difficulties which is affecting my life, it's very difficult to bring those walls down.
Yeah.
And it's because it completely bears you. It
Hmm.
makes you it makes you so open that you never wanted to be in the first place.
Yeah.
But what I've
Oh.
seen with a lot of clients or patients is also that when you tell them that, see, if you weren't here, if I wasn't here and if you weren't here, you would have lived the way that you're living anyways.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now that I'm here, there is this one opportunity that you can really make most of.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's almost like you don't have any firecrackers to burn, but there is one bag of firecrackers that's kept inside your cupboard. And suddenly you feel like there's this one day that you're allowed to burst your firecracker.
Mm,
So just go ahead and burst it out.
yeah.
If you could have done it yourself, you would have done it anyways.
Yes. Yeah.
But now that you have help, let's make the most use of it.
Mm, okay.
So I think that thought really helps when you kind of tell yourself that I am here. I took so much courage to be here.
Mm,
Because even for a small difficulty, when you go to a therapist, it needs courage to be able to
absolutely.
accept that within yourself
Yeah.
that I need help.
Yeah.
So now that I've taken up so much courage, it's just a matter of, really letting yourself out and walking that path. You're halfway there. Why would
Yeah.
you go back now?
Yeah. So
So
it's
with a few patients, I found this kind of thought process very helpful.
hmm. So I should have been ready for change, and then I receive the change. I receive the suggestions,
Right.
and then I need to make a change, isn't it? May act on that change. So
Yes.
both the cognitive process of being ready for change, getting the feedback, taking it not as a criticism but as a feedback, and then
Right.
using my both strengths and the need for changes to make a change to a better future. And that's what I am here for, isn't it? I want to change.
Absolutely.
I want to have a better future than what I am having in the past. That's the reason why I'm here. Very nice. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's quite helpful, and probably that's most, I mean, that's enough for one session, one video to talk about criticism and feedback. And I think perhaps it's now the duty of the viewer. We, as professionals, are trying to be as better as we can. Can you,
Definitely.
as the viewer of this video, try and be as best as you can? That's left to you. Thanks, Kushali. I'm very thanks for you for coming on to mindmattersonline.com and talking to our viewers about this. Let's hope we can get together again to talk about something else.
Certainly, Dr. Raghu. It was really nice talking to you, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my views. Great seeing you here.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too.